It's another week and another new episode of the Granny Panty Podcast. I'm your host, RubyLynne. I am so happy you are here. If you'd like to follow me, the host, you can go to IamRubyLynne.com. It's all things Ruby. If you'd like to get more information about the podcast, you can go to thegrannypantypodcast.com. This week's guest is a returning guest, one of my first returns. And I'm excited to talk to him about a course that he just released and developed. We had touched on it a little bit about a year ago when he was on the show. So help me welcome AZ Pornstar, who just released the pornstarcourse.com. Excited to have you back this week, AZ, because this is really a follow-up to your appearance on this show. Gosh, I think maybe about a year ago, maybe not quite a year ago, but I'm excited to talk to you today about this new venture, this new project that you have. So I'd love to start off. Tell us about this website you just developed.
So last time you had me on, I think you're right. I think it was just about a year ago. And at the time, it was called How to Become a MalePornstar.com. So the URL was like this long. And the idea behind it was to help educate new creators coming into this business, teach them what to do, how to do it, and how to do it the right way. It was something that I thought I was going to get accomplished in a few weeks, and here we are, a year later. Finally launching it. It's been a lot of work. There's a lot of education in it. So we've also had a little bit of a name change, and
Okay.
it is called the Pornstar Course, and it
Okay.
is here to help teach right now male creators how to get into this business and be successful. Because I get that question a lot. How do I get in? Where do I get started? What do
Yes.
I do? And so I put together this resource that brings in everything from the equipment to use to, important things like documentation,
Mhm.
STD testing, and just everything that goes into this business from start to finish.
Yeah, and I think what people don't realize is how much work it can be.
Mhm.
And like you, my DMs are filled on the daily, especially on Twitter. Hey, I want to shoot with you, or I want to collab with you, but yet they've never worked in the business, so they don't even have a clue. I get it on OnlyFans. I get it everywhere. I want to make a scene with you. And I know for myself, my response is always, well, I only shoot with professional, vetted, tested individuals. So, what I'm really excited about is I will have this resource of yours to now say, hey, you really are serious about this? Let me give you this website. Check it out. And so I am excited about it. You were lovely enough to send me um, a little guest access to it. And so I've been
Mhm.
able to kind of go through it. And I am impressed with how thorough it is.
Yeah, thank you. And there's a lot too. I as you take a look at it now, that's the form as it is, but this is a living, breathing course.
Mhm.
As the industry changes, as new things come out, we're going to be adding that to the course. I mean, right now, if you go into the course, I believe it's 12 topics long, but we have two more
Right.
planned, and they're coming soon. We're working on building those, and one of them deals with how to market yourself on
I
Reddit
saw
and
that.
Twitter and things like that. And then the other topic is going to focus on, how do you automate things behind the scenes in your business? What's a
Mhm.
KPI? The things to track. So,
Mhm.
there is so much knowledge that we can provide somebody in a central location who's just getting into this business and really doesn't know where to begin.
Right. Right. And I chuckled because I think that from the male standpoint anyway, that guys who've never been in the business think because they have a penis, they can just get in the business. And while that's partly true, there's a lot that goes behind it. One of the chapters or topics that you had that really stood out to me was like communicating with other
Hmm.
talent,
Yeah.
and how important that is. Because I'm sure you've had some folks in your DMs that are, "Hey, want to collab?" It's like,
Mhm.
got any little bit more than that? I always get, "Hey, baby."
Yeah, exactly. And, and one of the lessons in that topic about communication talks about things just like that. It's, they're coming to you going, "Hey, baby," assuming that you have some sort of rapport already established, and
Right,
communicating with you that way is acceptable. And in a professional setting, it is not. So I give a
right,
lot of different examples in there of, hey, this is how we've seen people communicate,
right,
and this is how you should be communicating. So I'll take the standard one of, the dick pic that you get. That's all it is just, boom, a picture. And these guys think that, I've got a dick and this is the best thing. But
right,
in all reality, in this industry, that's the last thing that you, as a female performer, ever think about. You're looking at the quality of their content. You're looking at what can
right,
they offer you value wise. And I tell these guys all the time, your dick does not have the kind of value that you think it does, because there are quite a few of them out there. So you have to bring something else to the table, to the collaboration, to the shoot itself. And so I help teach them, hey, instead of doing this, do this instead. Instead of saying
right.
this, say this instead.
That's great. Yes, you are so spot on because I have said from day one in this business, I am not a size queen. I don't care what size you have, below the belt. I care about, are we going to have fun? Are we going to laugh at ourselves, when we mess something up? And, at the end, are we just going to have a great time and cheers to a good scene? Yeah, I don't care how big it is.
Yeah, yeah, it's really the last thing, and it's I see so many guys treating this industry like a dating app. It's
Right.
like, hey, what's up? They're using slang, or they're using, abbreviated words for every single word, and
Mhm.
it's not professional. That's not
Right.
what is going to get you to work with the people that you want to work with. You have to know how to communicate clearly, directly, and in complete sentences.
Right. Right. That is for sure. So let's rewind a little bit. You had the idea for this course, what, about a year ago? Or was it before that?
This idea came up when I saw, because I've been around this industry for a bit, but the professional side is a little bit different than the content creation side. And so I saw a lot of what was going on out there, and I'm like, I have so much knowledge, and me personally, I love to educate. I love to impart the knowledge that I have to help somebody
Mhm.
skip all of the pitfalls that they could run into, and essentially give them an easy button to go
Right.
from point A to point B very quickly. And so this idea came up January of last year. So this is over a year ago.
Mhm.
And I started, putting some ideas together. And I said, okay, I think it was like five or six topics at that time. And I said, okay, I can do all of this. There's only six topics. I'm going to record all this in a weekend. I'm going to put it up on the website, and just deliver it to everybody. And here a year later, where I'm realizing that that was extremely ambitious. But I
Right.
just I saw a need for
Yeah.
education in this space, because prior to sites like OnlyFans, who I mean really are synonymous with the content creator world,
Mhm.
in order to get into this industry, you had to be on the professional side. So you had to have an agent, you had to go to a studio that
Right.
had all the high end equipment. You couldn't just take out your phone and create content.
Right.
Now with OnlyFans and other platforms like that, it's much easier for somebody with their phone to create content, put it out there, and make money doing it.
Right.
And that's the easy part. Like, filming, honestly, is the easy part. It's everything prior to that and everything after that that is
Right.
most important, and honestly mostly forgotten about or not understood by a lot
Right.
of people. And that's where I wanted to help educate, is here's what leads you up to the day of your shoot. Then shoot, perform in it.
Mhm.
I'll give you some tips on how to perform. We even recorded a live scene. So we did the behind the scenes of me actually recording a scene and going through position changes,
Mhm.
and then we talked about it after. It's like, here's why we did what we did in the scene itself. So it's educating all the way through the process from start to finish.
I love that. I love that. Well, I want to ask a question that I am positive you're gonna get when you release
Mhm.
this course officially. Well, it is released, I guess.
Yes.
Is what makes you qualified to write what makes you the expert to write this course?
That's honestly a great question because when you look at it, it's like, well, anybody could come along and, put a course of information out there, especially with the tools that are available nowadays. For me, my qualifications go back 15 years.
Okay.
I did not just start in this business. Now, my brand, the AZP brand, AZ
Mhm.
Pornstar, is about a year and a half old, just about. And so if you look at that brand, you go, okay, well, you've only been in the industry for a year and a half, and that's
Mhm.
not true. I've actually been in the industry back when you would shoot content for DVDs.
Okay.
You had to go to that studio. And so I saw a lot of the art
Mhm.
and the work that went on behind the scenes. And I respect this business for what it is, whether you're a professional or you're a content creator.
Mhm.
And so my knowledge goes back to then how to perform, how to talk to the talent, how
Mhm.
to, work with the different production houses, how to get your content out there, how to make it look good. I mean, that's something
Mhm.
else too. If
Right.
you're just going to set your camera up in the corner of the room and hit record and you're, on the other side of the room on the bed and you can't see anything, I mean, that's not
Right.
really doing anything for anybody. So I took all of those years of experience working both in front of and behind the camera,
Okay.
plus my experience working adjacent to this industry. I spent time working on website development and marketing and things like that for the industry. So I've
Right.
been around this industry
Mhm.
and I've taken that knowledge and said, I'm going to compress all of it down. And this is what helped me go from essentially nobody, because when I restarted my career, if you will,
Mhm.
in this industry as a content creator, nobody knew who I was, even though I had the credentials. I am on DVD covers. I am featured in
I
DVDs
love
for
that.
some of the big companies, but you unless you look up, that original stage name and
Right.
all of those productions, you wouldn't know that. And so I had to reestablish myself. And the way that I reestablished myself very, very quickly was by being the professional
Yeah.
creator that was sorely lacking in this industry. And that came down to, again, how I communicated, how I
Mhm.
conducted my shoots, how my paperwork goes. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've given my paperwork and my spreadsheet, yeah,
Yeah.
to others because of how thorough it is and how it really focuses on the things that are most important in this industry. So and that's what I use to establish my brand very quickly, to be able to work with some of the bigger names in the industry, be able to shoot the amount of scenes that I've shot in a
Right.
very short period of time. So and it's that professionalism. That is the one thing I am told over and over and over again is what sets me apart from everybody else.
Well, and I can verify that because, early on, you and I first shot, at AVN 2023. So that was when we first
Hmm.
shot, and, the first of many, and I remember telling you, when I got your paperwork packet, and I was blown away because I hadn't even really developed. I was doing everything, written still,
Yeah.
and I just remember we became friends basically, and you were very kind and, shared your information, what you were using with me. And then I kind of massage it and make it my own. But
Yeah.
yeah, I would say that you were like the first professional about it. But also I wasn't up to that speed yet. I'd only been shooting collabs for about, 8, 9 months myself. But
Yeah.
yeah, you have it dialed in, and so I can totally verify and vouch for that.
And honestly, that's why I love sharing the information, because it's taken me all these years to figure out these little nuances, in
Mhm.
the industry. And here, you and I started right around the same time. I started July of 22 is when I officially launched my brand. I didn't actually release a scene until September of that year. So,
Okay.
we started around the same time, and it was one of those things where, I took that knowledge and I said, okay, let me kind of fast forward a little bit, but I love sharing it because now it helps you better protect yourself as well when you
Yeah.
go to work with others.
Yeah, because I have been in the industry since February of 2020, right before COVID, but
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't shoot my first collab with anyone except my partner until May of, 2022. So I didn't have to really worry about paperwork. I mean, for the most part, I know that
Mm,
your spouse, you're always supposed to fill out everything anyway.
yeah.
But yeah, so I was new to that whole exchange of paperwork and that kind of stuff. But yeah, you've been very helpful, and it's like it's like I've reshared, people that I've shot with. They're like, "Oh my god, I love your paperwork. Would you mind sending it to me?"
Yeah.
And then I get great paperwork too from other creators that I've added to my packet, and
Yeah.
I love that. But in your course, let me clarify, everything is already done. Is it just like nobody has to recreate the wheel?
No,
That's
no,
part
it's
of your
all
course.
that's part of the course. So, in the beginning part of the course, I really help the creator first establish their why. And I think that's a big piece of getting
Mhm.
into this business. As you know, it's challenging, mentally, physically, and you need to establish the why of what you're doing. And so I walk
Yes.
them through that. I help them with goal setting.
Mhm.
Let's, before we get into all of this stuff, let's figure out, what are your goals? What are you trying to reach? And so
Right.
all of that is, you can download all of those systems. When you get to the paperwork part, I have the same paperwork I shared with you.
That's
I have that
amazing.
there, so they can download it and use that paperwork right out of the box. Now, I always like to kind of, and I put this in the course and I reference it. I am not an attorney. I'm not their attorney. I always
Right.
recommend, having somebody that they trust review the paperwork for
Mhm.
their jurisdiction. But this is paperwork that is widely used in the industry. It has been vetted by 3 different attorneys, and so now they don't have to go and piece this together. They already have a packet that they could tomorrow send to a co-performer, a co-star, and have them fill out and know that they are protected from a lot of different angles.
I mean, that right there is gonna be worth the price of the course. I mean,
Yeah,
just
and
having that, because I've had, as myself not having a course, I've had mentors that I've hired, but not necessarily that were doing the same thing or had the same goals as myself because, like you said, everyone has different goals. So I really think just that right there is going to be worth the course.
that's just scratching the surface. I mean, there's a lot more that we provide in the course as well.
Yeah. And you and I talked just for a second before this interview. What you're gonna charge for this course, I think, is a bargain, and I'll tell you why, because when I got into the industry, I didn't know anything. I knew nothing. I spent hundreds of hours researching and Googling and reading, forums and also spending a lot of money on stuff I probably didn't need.
Hmm.
Or I bought the wrong I bought one thing, then, like, 2 weeks find out later that, "Oh, well, I should have bought this version of it or that
Yeah.
version." I can even attest to editing software. I
Hmm.
already had a real expensive editing software, but, I supercharged it and spent all that money when really there was some pretty darn powerful editing apps or
Hmm.
programs that weren't nearly that expensive. So, I think just the value in the course of saving you money.
Yeah,
It's gonna save
absolutely.
people money.
Absolutely. And on top of it too, this course is living, breathing. Like it will change as the industry changes. So this is not
Mhm.
something where it's a set and forget from my side. It
Gotcha.
is as something changes in the industry, I'm going to add it in there. As a new piece of software comes out. Right
Mhm.
now the editing that we talk about in there is based off of the software that I use, but there are some amazing applications out there
Mhm.
that others can use, or cost a lot less, or they're in some cases free,
Right.
and they are absolutely phenomenal. And so we're going to teach on those, and we're going to say, here's
Okay.
how you edit, and here's how you do all these different things. And so as new things come out in the industry, as there's better ways to do things, we're
Mhm.
just going to keep updating the course, so somebody coming into it brand new in that moment will have access to that information. But
Okay.
somebody who signs up today will have access to that information, so they will have learned the process as it stands today, but we'll also get access to the updated content and information as we add it to the system.
Okay, good. You answered one of the questions I had on my list was, does this course target, um, everyone's budget where they're at? Because some people, have an unlimited budget. Maybe they have another, income stream that's coming in, and some people don't. Like, they're just jumping into it. And so you kinda answered that you're gonna hit all the different range of budgets.
Yeah, and I mean, we talk about that when it comes to the equipment as well. I mean, behind me, you'll see some of my gear. I have tens of thousands of dollars worth of equipment.
You
And,
have the biggest equipment I've ever seen.
Dum-tsh. um, it's you don't have to start with what I do. I am
Mhm.
very comfortable with the equipment that I use because,
Right.
my background comes from that sort of area. So I'm
Yeah.
I'm comfortable with that, but it doesn't mean you have to. And I talk about that in the course. And so,
Good.
the phones that we use years ago when I got into the industry, the phone quality wasn't there to create content.
Right.
Now these phones shoot in 4K and they're absolutely phenomenal. And you can record an entire scene on a phone, but there's no issue with that.
Mhm.
Exactly. There's no issue with that whatsoever. What I tell people is it's not the equipment, it's how you use it. And if you know how
Right.
to use the equipment, and that saying goes for quite a few different things in this industry.
There's an innuendo in here somewhere.
There is, it's how you use the equipment, and that's what I talk about in the course is like, do you go professional with the
Right.
equipment, or do you start with what you have? And honestly, start with what you have.
Right.
And if you have a phone, you have a window. I mean, you can film an amazing scene with that, but learn the technical aspects of it.
Right.
That's what I want to get across when we do this. So yeah, it covers all budget ranges because honestly, people getting into this are getting into it because they want to do something in the adult
Mhm.
industry, and they might only have what they have to get started with. And as they build their business and make more money, they can upgrade the equipment. So it doesn't mean you have to start all the way up here. You can start with something a bit more basic as long as you know how to use it.
So out of curiosity, do you have in your course, cuz man, it is really involved. I didn't have a chance to go through every chapter. But do you talk about phone settings and that kind of thing for optimal, or do you not get that deep into that part of it?
In this course, we don't get that deep into it.
Okay.
We'll talk about. I do help with lighting setups. There's some 2 and 3 point lighting setups in
Mhm.
there. I talk about some of the equipment I use and why I use it.
Okay.
I cover. I would say more of a higher level. One of the things that we plan on offering with this course as time goes on is a way to, if you will, kind of upgrade and get like a master class. And so
Okay.
we are going to have master classes on how to shoot with your phone and what
Nice.
settings to use, how to edit, and really
Mhm.
go in depth. I actually show how I edit a scene in the course, but
Okay.
how we go in and do color correction and how we do audio cleanups and how we do a lot of the little things that
Mhm.
really just you need to focus in and do that. So we plan on adding master class add-ons to this course as well. So somebody who's gone through and learned everything and they're creating courses now goes, how do I level up? How
Right.
do I make my content stand out? We're going to have classes for that as well.
That's amazing. Wow. And master classes are really the thing right now.
Hmm.
Uh, I see, in different realms in my life, things that I follow of different master classes. And I love the fact that normally they're fairly small,
Hmm.
and, very dialed in and specific and very interactive. So I think those will be great.
Yeah, and it's nice too because again, the course is designed to take somebody who goes, I mean, listen, as a guy, I've got a dick and I've got a phone and I want to record porn. So okay, how do I take you from that and teach you all of the important things all the way through and help you record a successful scene? So that's the course as it is now. The master classes will really zero in on the filmmaking, on the equipment, on the editing, set design, things like that, things that'll help you really stand out. We also plan on offering mentorship as well. So
Okay.
after
That's
somebody
why I was
has,
just
yeah,
bringing up the course again, and I was gonna see if you had something about that here, one-on-one
yeah,
stuff.
it'll actually be more of a one to many sort of situation. So we're going to
Okay.
have classes. So people who have gone through the course and have successfully completed it, because there are quizzes in this course. I don't just teach you everything
Oh,
and
there's
wish you the best.
homework.
There's homework on there. Some of them required you to write out some stuff too. They're not just true
Okay.
false questions. So um, somebody who's gone through the course, when they get to the end, we are going to have classes, and we're going to keep the classes fairly small, anywhere between 10 and 15 creators. But now it's going to be led by myself and my business partners who have backgrounds in business, cinematography, marketing, and we are going to help these students
Mhm.
one-on-one in a group setting, but one-on-one with their exact problems. And so it's going to be a
Nice.
3-month long mentorship, and we're going to take them through the entire process, start to finish, including an
Wow.
actual shoot house. So now the biggest question that we always get is, how do I get started if I don't have any content to show anybody? Well,
Right.
this mentorship and the content house will help solve that problem. So
Nice.
now they'll be able to go through, get their specific questions answered, and then we'll bring them to a content house where we will have a number of female creators there as well, so they can shoot content under our supervision. So we
Right.
can help them with the filmmaking, the set design. They will
Mhm.
also get a chance to film scenes on their equipment as well as mid-level equipment, so something that you could go to Best Buy and purchase, and then
Mhm.
professional level cinema grade quality equipment as well. So now they get the full gamut. They get to work with people, create content. They get to use different types of equipment. And then after that content house, after the shoot house, we'll sit down with them and go, here's how we're going to edit. And here's how you put out a
Wow.
final product. So yeah, it really just takes it to the next level.
I could just see it in my mind now. If you go to the first bedroom, you can shoot on your phone. If you
Hmm.
choose door number 2
Yeah.
and door number three's got the big AZ equipment.
Yep, that's it. So, and they can, and it gives them just a great variety to
Yeah.
understand, because honestly, they may love shooting on their phone, but when they get to a mid-market camera, they're like, oh, like this is where I have to go to next. Or maybe they're
Right.
already mid-market and they're contemplating if they want to go professional. This gives them a chance to work with cinema cameras and see if that's something that they want to do. So it's a great experience overall. So that way they can really figure out where do they want to place
Mhm.
themselves in this business in terms of their brand, but also the production quality that goes with it.
Okay. And another question I have is, so when I open it up, it says the Porn Star course for men.
Hmm.
Where are you coming out with a female version? And then the second part of that question is, do you feel that the female has a completely different experience getting into the business than the males?
Yeah, so great questions. First question is yes, we do have a female course that is currently in development. We
Okay.
started with the men's side because that's the highest number of requests that we get. So, go where demand is. But we are creating a female side of the course. And I think there are a lot of elements in the course that are going to echo the men's side. So there's things
Right.
around, mental health, STD testing, paperwork, things like that are very much the same.
Communication. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, communication, all of that. But I feel that there's more to the female side of the course. Things around safety,
Hmm.
when we need to talk about things like pregnancy, things that could happen,
Yeah.
and marketing. Honestly, marketing is so very different too. The way that I market my brand is very different
Hmm.
than the way that you market your brand. And so, yeah, we're going to have a female side of the course that's going to talk about even things like streaming too. Women do very, very well, streaming on the different platforms as well. So how do you do that? And just even from my own partner in real life, she does a
Hmm.
lot of streaming, and I've seen a lot of the behind the scenes as she works to dial in the goals and the settings on the
Right.
bots and all that other stuff. And so let's teach them how to do that, because honestly, as a female creator, that's a great way to get fans and followers and
Right.
customers and clients. And so, helping them establish themselves that way while also making sure that their safety is taken into consideration, and priority number one when they go to work with others, is a big
Right.
piece of it. So yeah, so there'll be pieces and elements of it that'll be the same, but
Okay.
overall, I think the course will have a lot more to offer the female side, just given things are different for them in the industry.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, I mean, it is very, very thorough as I look into it. And then you even have a resource page that I saw for
Hmm.
different resources, which is, I think, where your paperwork was.
Yep.
My
Yeah, the goal
iPad's
setting
not very
systems.
responsive to me, but yeah, that is great. Goals, that kind of thing. I love
Hmm.
it. So now let's talk about pricing. I know
Hmm.
that's everyone's question. What is this gonna
Yes.
cost me? So talk to me about how you came about pricing it, and, I know there's a special little discount for Granny Panty podcast listeners.
There is, there is. So I mean, like anybody else figuring out pricing, we just threw stuff at the wall and saw what stuck.
Mhm.
So no, I mean it was when I originally put this course together, honestly, I was going to give it away for free because I just wanted to educate.
Right.
And, as the course grew from, 5 topics, 6 topics, all the way up to 12 now with two more already in the works, talking about
Mhm.
platform marketing, talking about how to run the business, and the fact that it's living, breathing, we looked at it and we said, there's a lot of value in here that in all reality takes somebody who doesn't know anything about this business and gives them an easy button that they can hit. They can jump over all the pitfalls that everybody else runs into and and
Right.
and make it to the other side and have a ton of knowledge. Plus, the course, like I said, is living and breathing. So we're always
Mhm.
going to be updating it. There's always going to be more to it. So, when we sat down and we looked at it, like you said, the price that we have it at now is in our opinion as well is a steal given the information. I mean, at this point, it's going to cost you the same amount of money for your first month of testing within this industry. And this course is lifetime access. So when you sign up as a student,
Mhm.
you have lifetime access to this course from now
Okay.
until forever. And it was designed that way because we want to continue educating. As a student, you're also going to get discounts on the mentorship. You're going to get discounts on the master classes. You
Mhm.
get access to invite only Telegram groups that have
Awesome.
creators nationwide, even worldwide, in there where you can collaborate, connect with them at shoot houses and things like that. So the amount of resources there are just phenomenal. So the course is priced at $797 for lifetime access. And
Okay.
to me, it is an investment in you as a creator. It's an investment in your business. And that knowledge will help you go from, I don't know what to do or how to get into this business, to I can shoot a scene successfully in 14 days. If
Wow.
you diligently sit down, go through the course, listen to it, do everything, you can go from nothing to content creator creating a scene in 14 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
There's a lot of
crazy.
information in there, but yeah, if
There
dedication,
is.
and sitting down, absolutely 14 days.
Okay. That is crazy. And then forms of payment, I'm sure you have credit card processing, that kind of thing, Cash
Yeah.
App.
If you go right on there, all the options are on. So I think it's a credit card, and then there's Cash App, and then I think Google
Yeah.
Pay is on there as well.
Awesome.
Yeah, and just so everybody, I know this was a concern kind of right out of the gate. It does not show up if you decide to use a credit card. It does
Mhm.
not show up on your credit card statement as the Pornstar course. We actually have it comes up with the company name, which is Level 10 Learning. So it just comes up and it says level 10 learning. So that way it's any
Awesome.
sort of education. Even when you go to the website too, and you're in there,
Mhm.
aside from the logo, there's nothing in the URL that says, porn star course or anything like that. So we do understand discretion
You've
and make
thought
sure it
all
does
that
take place.
through, of
Hmm.
course.
Yeah.
Well,
Want
that's
to make sure.
awesome. And the course is live now,
It
so
is.
people
Yes.
can sign up.
Yep. Yep. They
I'm
can go sign up.
excited. So it is thepornstarcourse.com,
Correct.
and uh, the coupon code for Granny Panty listeners.
That is GPP Listener. So what you'll
Okay.
do is you'll go to the course, you'll see the Enroll Now button. Click on that. You'll see the little page that tells you how much it is and all the cool stuff that you get with it. Just say, hey, I want to become a student. Take you to the payment page in the upper left corner. It says have a coupon code. Type it in right there, and it will take off $200 off
That's
of this
amazing.
course. So now this course costs less than what it's going to cost you to go and get tested in your first month of creating content.
Right, right. And you can use that extra money to go add to your equipment or whatever you need to that you're going to learn about. So that is amazing. Amazing. Well, I'm super excited for you. I'm glad you could come back on and talk about it. So
Yeah. Thank you
thanks
for
for
having me back.
putting that word.
It was an idea that we had, were just kind of coming to fruition last time we sat down and talked, and it's taken on a whole new life, and a lot of the feedback and from people in the industry too is this is needed. This is
Yeah.
something that is absolutely needed because I mean, you see it as well as I do on Twitter all the time, and the problems that people run into, and the issues that they have, and I'm like, a lot of this can be prevented by having
Yeah.
people coming into this business who are educated and know how to approach things the right way.
And I remember when you started talking about that and, when we met, I sent you some screenshots. I'm like, "Hey,
Yeah.
file this when you start writing this course because here's a really good one."
Yeah. And you and many others have sent me. I have an entire folder filled with screenshots of dick pics, of, the messages that people get. It's just, I don't know, it every single day I get
Yeah.
stuff that comes across, and I'm just like, this is why this course is so very much needed in this industry.
I love it, I love it. Yeah, feel free to use those, in your classes.
Yeah. This is what not to do. Do not do this.
Well, thank you so much, AZ, for coming on. I'm excited to have you back. I'm excited for this new venture. Uh, I think you're going to get a ton of subscribers and you're going to help a lot of gentlemen out
That's the
to not
goal.
make
That is
some
the
big
goal.
mistakes
Yeah. I
because you're,
want people to be successful, because here's the thing, like, I understand this business is fun, and you and I were kind of talking a little bit before the podcast about it. It's
yeah,
like, this industry is honestly a lot of fun. And,
yeah,
like any industry, it has its, problems and stuff like that, and we all know
sure.
that. But, overall, it's a lot of fun. You meet some really great people. I mean, we spent a lot of time at AVN this year, chatting, during the party and
Yes,
stuff like that. And it was such a good time, and just, the friends that you make, the content that you create, it's a blast. It really is. But
it is.
you have to do things the right way. You have to make
Right.
sure, and what a lot of guys coming into the industry don't realize is that early missteps in the way you
Mm,
handle things will get you blacklisted. And now nobody wants to work with you, and your career in this industry is over before it ever got started. And that's what I really want to help them get past, is go listen to what I'm telling you, follow what I'm teaching you, and you can be successful in what you do. Now, it doesn't mean that you're just going to watch my course and instantly be,
right.
a super successful, creator. There's work involved. There's things that you have to do, but bypassing and getting all those little shortcuts and getting the easy button really, really takes a lot of that work out of it, and all the hours of research and everything else like you were talking about.
Well, it's like anything else. You get out what you put in,
Hmm. Yeah.
so if you put the work in, you're gonna have success. But
Yeah.
well, thank you so much. I can't wait to see how this turns out and all the new baby porn stars that you're you're
Yeah.
gonna release into the world.
Yeah. Hey, we'll release a whole batch of really, really good ones out there. So you'll have a whole bunch of new creators to work with that will be
Cool.
bringing their own style and value and everything to the industry.
I love that. I love that. Thank you so much, AZ, for being on. And let's get this out. Let's get this course going.
Love it. Ruby, thank you so much. I appreciate you as always.
You're welcome.